Hey guys, and today we're going to be doing my Nintendo 64 collection. Now I forgot to say it in the beginning of the PlayStation 1 video game collection, but if you want to see me play any of these games, just leave a comment down below and I will get to it. So I've just picked this up within the last year. There's a lot of Nintendo stuff that I never really knew. Like I had the NES when I was a kid. My brothers played the Super Nintendo and I told the story of how I hauled around their games that they just left with me. And then I picked up a Super Nintendo after probably 4 or 5 years of just hauling those games around they left with me and never being able to play them. But I never had anything Nintendo until I got the Wii years after that. So I missed out on the Nintendo 64, I missed out on the GameCube. When I got my Wii, I didn't know that you could play GameCube games on it because I didn't have any GameCube games, so I didn't know you could even plug them in and do that. And no one told me until recently, so I don't know, I missed out on a lot. Like I don't have a Wii U. I definitely don't have a Switch because that just came out like what, 6 months ago, a year ago, something like that. It hasn't been very long, at least in my measurements of time. So I'm gonna turn this light off just because I was trying to illuminate it, because as you can see in this shot, it's kind of hard to see. So, like I say, I picked this up in the first year. I mean, I still only have one controller for this thing. It's the friggin' gray one. I don't know if this even came with this one. I think it did. Just the standard stock gray controller. I see a lot of people complaining about this controller. It's not really bad to me. It is definitely weird. I see where people are coming from, but like, I don't even think I have the stock memory card. I think this is a third-party one. Hang on. Get this out of the way. Yeah, this one is not stock. It's got this little switch thing, so it's basically 4 memory cards in one, I believe. So, got that. Alright, so let's move on to the games. Alright, so the first game here is Super Mario 64. I think everyone knows this game who has heard of or ever played a Nintendo 64. The funny thing is, I think I actually got this game for free. I can't prove it. I haven't gone back to the store to ask. But there was this new guy at the register at this game store I used to go to. And I was asking him what my credit was, and he was doing all this funky stuff. I'm fairly sure I heard him mumble under his breath, "Let me add something to your account or take it away." I don't know. But I remember my, the amount that I would have paid for the games was a lot lower than I thought. I'm like, wow, that's like 20-30 bucks lower than what it was going to cost. What the hell? I even looked back through, and I think it said that I had like 30 bucks on my account, and that's what paid for this game. The funny thing is, when I went in there, I think I had like 5 bucks on my account, so I think he accidentally added some to my account, so I basically got this game for free, as far as I can tell. Sorry if I'm moving, I'm trying to adjust and scratch, and thing on my back was itching, so. Right, so, next game. Yeah, I'll say that one, this one. Bug's Life. I was thinking about getting this game on PlayStation just because that's what I usually always get my games on for this generation, because that's what I had, but I saw this one, I think it was like 3-4 bucks, and I'm like, yeah, you know what, screw it. Let me get a game that I was going to get on something else and get it on this, because I want to see how it holds up. In the other video you can see that they were advertising the PlayStation version in the Tarzan magazine. I didn't even know this until afterwards, but apparently that same Tarzan game I love so much is on this console. I'm tempted to try to find that and pick it up to see if it's better, if it's worse, because I know the controller's a little weird, and I know the PlayStation controller just like fits your hand so perfectly, and that contributed to the good controls of the game. Alright, so next is GoldenEye 007. I played this game just enough to tell you I like it, but I haven't beat it or played through it. I really don't play my Nintendo 64, and I really should. I really should. Like, I've heard so much about this game, and I know it's really good if you have 4 people. I do not have a crew to play this with. I only have the one controller as it is. I'm really late in the game, seeing how this was like 1998 or 6 that the Nintendo 64 released. It's one of those two. And I'm just now starting my collection on the console. Like, I haven't bought a Nintendo 64 game in probably 10 months now. So, I'm slowly catching up with a friggin' 2-decade-old console. So next, Pokemon Stadium. This is one of the biggest reasons I wanted to pick this up. Because you can play your Nintendo, or you can play your Pokemon games on the TV. And yeah, I could do that with the Super Game Boy thing that came with the Super Nintendo I showed in the other video. But you could also use this thing, the transfer pack. And yeah, Dr. Mario shouldn't be in there, but I keep it in there because I have 2 games that I don't have cases for, and I keep them in here to keep dust out of this so I don't have to clean it. But you put your Pokemon game in this, you slide this into the back of your controller. Hang on. Just had to reach over and get it. You slide it in the back of here. I'm sure if you've owned the Nintendo 64, this is all like, yeah, duh, but again, I'm so late to this, a lot of these little cool peripherals are still really cool to me. I'm like a little kid looking at this shit because it's like, you get the friggin' Power Rangers or Transformers or whatever, and you're like, oh, they sell more and they click together and make a bigger toy? Holy shit! This is that same effect to me, and I imagine that's exactly what they were going for. And this looks like the little Wiimote thing, like if we just chop it off, it's a Wiimote. So, I'll rip this thing off. Ah, come here. Thank you. So that's what you do within this game. Ah, just throw that back over there. So, I'm really wanting to find someone else who has, like, the old Game Boy Pokemon games and start doing some battles. I had a friend here for a little while who played this a lot, but she moved away. I can't remember where she moved to. I think it was West Palm. I can't remember. But, moving on, we have Star Fox 64. This game is a fucking masterpiece. I have not beat it yet. I've played it, and it was so addicting I couldn't put it down, but then I had to put it down, and I just haven't went back to it because I know if I do, I'm not going to be able to put it back down. It's such a good game. It's better than the one on Super Nintendo, like, by a long shot. It is so much better. So much better. And now we have the Star Fox 2 game coming out on the SNES or SNES Mini, whatever, Super Nintendo Mini. And everyone's going crazy over that. I want to see, like, this game. Well, actually, no, they did basically put out a game on Wii U that was like this, didn't they? I remember that there's not nearly as many games as this as there are, like, Mario and Zelda. And seeing as how I don't have a Wii U or a Switch or anything, I lose track of some of these games when they're released. Like, for all I know, there's probably a Star Fox out on Wii, and I don't know about it. So, then we have Banjo-Tooie. I went there to buy this thinking it was the first one. Banjo-Kazooie. But it was not, it was Tooie. I've played this up until... I'm trying to remember the boss. There was like a bunch of overhead stuff that would squish you, and you had to be like in the holes or dodge it. I can't remember. I remember being down in the mines. There's like a bunch of respawning enemies down there. I don't know. I remember pieces of this game, but I don't remember how far along I am in this game. I remember I stopped playing it because I wanted to get the original, because they kept making a bunch of references to the first game. Then I'm like, okay, I need to play the first game before I go finishing this one. So I'm gonna hold off on this one until I get the first one. That game reminded me a lot of Spyro, for some reason. Okay, 007, The World Is Not Enough. I see a lot of people saying this game is basically just GoldenEye 007, but not as good. I don't know about that. I mean, I've only played it once or twice just to see if it would work. Make sure I didn't buy a broken copy. And yeah, it was more of the same, I guess, but I don't know, I just never finished it, so. Alright. Now these last three are going to be kind of meh titles. Tetrasphere, which is basically 3D Tetris. It's really interesting if you get into it, but it can get kind of boring after a while. I know it was a little confusing first getting into it, but after you get used to it, it's very easy. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. I gotta go back. Rewind. Star Fox. I forgot. I actually bought this big ass Rumble Pack thing, and this is not the Nintendo branded one. It's got all these weird switches and dials. You stick batteries in here if I can get it open. I have seen the one that Star Fox came packaged with, and it looks nothing like this. In fact, I think the one that came with Star Fox looks a bit better, but you stick this in there and you got all these heavy batteries. I can imagine this thing just being heavy in the back of your Nintendo 64 controller. I would drag the controller back over here, but frankly I'm lazy. Alright, fast forward. Iggy's Wrecking Ball. I remember this game being hard for some reason. Like, I couldn't figure out the controls, and I probably just needed to like pull up a manual or something online, but I don't know, I couldn't figure this game out. It's like a weird kind of racing game, or strategy racing game. I don't know, you're like this little ball and you're like bouncing, trying to reach the end. And you can use all these traps and strategies. It's probably a really good game, and I just haven't figured it out, but I don't know. I have to give that one another shot later. Ooh, here we go. Xena, Warrior Princess. I'm excited for this. Not this game, but the new series that's supposed to be coming out with Xena's daughter, and Lucy Lawless is just going to make appearances in the show from time to time, from what I understand, like her mom did in the show. She would just occasionally go home and talk to her mom, yada yada. Xena, Warrior Princess, The Talismans of Time. This is a fighting game. It's not too bad a fighting game. The special moves are pretty easy to do once you figure out how to do it. I remember a lot of people saying they didn't like this, but I liked it, I guess, just because it was Xena, and I was willing to forgive it. Mainly because of the weird, funky controller, but... Alright, now for the last game. This is the only game I have in box. Robotron 64. Now, the box is in kind of rough condition, but I actually love this game. I picked this up from a recommendation from watching Classic Game Room. I was looking up a bunch of videos to figure out like what kind of games would be good to buy for the Nintendo 64. There's something in here. What is it? Oh, it's the coupon or whatever. So Robotron 64. It didn't come with a manual or anything. I don't know if there was any in there. It's what I was looking for. But I'm not seeing a manual, but it's basically supposed to be one of the best versions of Robotron, and I played it and it was a shit ton of fun. I love this game. I'm trying to think of anything it can be related to. The only thing I could think of is like an Atari style game, but it's got 3D graphics. I don't know, you just have to play it. It's such a good game. You guys, I think I'm on like level 120 or something with like it was 8 or 12 lives. And I just haven't went back and played it because it's addicting how fun it is. So, that unfortunately ends my Nintendo 64 collection. You can tell how invested I am because I still have the friggin' little standard pack here. I don't have the red one. What is it? This is the... what do they call these things? Yeah, there's the jumper pack, and you need the... what's the red one called? The memory expansion pack? I don't know. So that makes the games a lot better. See if I can get all these in shot and make it a decent thumbnail or something. Yeah, decent enough, I guess. But I don't have Ocarina of Time. I don't have Majora's Mask. These are all games I want to get. I want to get the original Banjo-Kazooie. There's so many games I want to get for this console because it was apparently a really good console. I just didn't have it when I was a kid. I had the PlayStation. I knew a couple people who had this, but usually when I was a kid, everyone around where I lived had a PlayStation. So it was just one of those, you know, kind of things that fell between the cracks for me. And I'm a lot older now, the internet and all this other shit. I'm finding out a lot more stuff that I missed. So I just need a little bit more time, and I might have a decent Nintendo 64 collection. So remember, if you guys want to see me play any of these games, just leave a comment down below and I will get right on that. Thanks always for stopping by, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.